Well, hello there. My name is Mark, your host here at the Chartreuse Leprechaun. Every month, we take a little time to catch up on stuff going on around here, and this is that video. Starting off with good news. We got all the LEDs working in the bookcase. It only took 3 months to figure out. Turns out I bought 2 different light packs. From the same, well, theoretically same source on Amazon. And for reasons, I guess, you have to use separate controllers for them. Sometimes. Anyway, there's always something technical the Leprechaun has sprung on us around here, and we usually talk about current and future episodes too, and at the end, almost always talk about my face. Yeah, not this month. Nope, not this month. We have way too much stuff to cover. The timestamps are in the description below in case you want to skip around. Please don't, though, because there's stuff we need your help with. You can also just check the table of contents for that. Now, I need to start off with some news about me, and we'll start that off with a little bit of history. Now, back in 2010, I suffered a small brainstem stroke that caused all kinds of functional problems over the years. Basically, intense brain activity causes physical and brain fatigue, and at times, at the time I was working as a supervisor in financial services, let's just say it was bad. I missed a lot of time because of that. And then one day, just after Christmas in 2018, I suddenly couldn't reach across the desk without extreme pain shooting through my shoulder and into my arm, and disability started a week later. Now, when I stopped working in 2019 due to the nerve stuff, the headaches, the weird migraine complex, the constant fatigue, the fogginess, all of that stuff and a bunch more just kind of stopped. And that's when I realized how big the work stretch problem really was. Anyway, it took a few months, but the diagnosis for the nerve thing was thoracic outlet syndrome, and the surgery went well, but there were other issues that cropped up, and the nerve pain didn't completely go away, which meant I was never taken off disability. And I started the channel in 2020 because, I just couldn't let myself do nothing, right? So, how brave are you? Go listen to one of our new episodes, and then go listen to a Subnautica episode. I'll put a link to it up here and in the description below. Leave a comment on how long you watched it. Inquiring minds want to know. And I've been slowly building things up ever since. Still, mostly as therapy, to be honest, trying to find the limits of what I can accomplish, and, me being me, I've exceeded those limits several times. And paid for it. So why am I telling you all this now? Well, there's actually 2 reasons. First, to catch up on why I do what I do and the limits I have to work with, just because you deserve to know, especially the stroke stuff, since that affects gameplay. Yeah, things like staying focused, accomplishing tasks, minor details like that. But second, the nerve stuff. I'm having muscle weakness, numbness, and spasms down my left arm and shoulder lately, and it's actually been getting worse for a couple of months now. And I've put off the neck surgery for a couple of years because of, it's likely only going to produce limited benefits, but things are enough now that I can't really let this go on. So they'll be doing a lot of tests and imaging, and God only knows what to figure out what's going on, which is probably going to impact our schedule, maybe. What I expect to happen is at least one neck surgery, which will also affect our content schedule. Hopefully, it's not the one I've been putting off, which is high risk and only possible benefit. We'll kind of have to wait and see. But I wanted you wonderful folks to know what's going on and what might be coming down the road over the next few months. I'll keep you posted. So let's move on to another episode of Companies That Suck. And once again, it's AT&T. I know, shocking, right? So our internet went out the other day, and it was very quickly determined by AT&T, by the way, that the problem was outside the house. So they sent a technician out who very quickly figured out the problem was the connection to their junction box at the street. The wire, fiber, cable, whatever you want to call it, was apparently no good or broke or disconnected, whatever it wasn't working. So they ran a new wire. Everything worked perfectly. Much to my surprise. But AT&T couldn't leave well enough alone. You see, their technicians don't bury cables. They have contractors that do that. And I got a notice that they would bury the cable on or before July 28th. Needless to say, that date came and went, and the cable was not buried. So I called to ask why, and they had to send another technician out to inspect the situation. But they told that technician he was doing an initial installation inspection, even though we've had their internet for 20 plus years. Now, before the technician showed up, our area/account rep showed up. Apparently, I had 2 notices that 2 people were coming to visit, and I only saw one of them. Anyway, I told him what happened. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but he told me the ticket to bury the cable was closed out by the contractor. Now, remember, the 2 of us were staring at that unburied cable. And he also told me AT&T has no recourse with the contractors for failure to do the work. Oh yeah, he was also there to sell me a service that only works if you have AT&T cell service, which we don't have. Do I need to tell you what I told him about that idea? Well, then the technician shows up, and I tell him what's going on. Needless to say, he's very confused, but he did his inspection, made sure everything was good, and he went on his merry way. Now I have a new text message saying the cable will be buried on or before August 10. Now, obviously, I'm recording this before that date, so I have no idea if they will or they won't bury the cable by the time you see this. And let's just say I'm not holding my breath about it getting done, but I'll keep you posted. Okay, let's move on to fun stuff like programming and games and, stuff. I realized as I was prepping for this video, we have been playing Fallout London for over a year. As of the upcoming Friday episode, we will have been playing Fallout London for 56 weeks. And that, by the way, is episode 84. That is the longest series we have ever done. Can you imagine how long this would go, though, if we hadn't started doing an extra episode every week? Holy cow. Holy cow. Thankfully, we finished the Kira quest, and I had thoughts of trying the Mad Jack thing again and getting him as a companion. The idea of getting maybe all the companion stories is intriguing, to be honest. But I'm going to skip it. This has gone on long enough. We're going to finish the Angel quest line, and then we'll be done with Fallout London. And I don't think we have very many episodes left, but we'll see. Unfortunately, while I have a couple of maybe ideas on what to do next, I really don't know what to play when we finish this. Now, to be fair, we didn't know what to do when we finished the Camelot quest line either, so I guess some things don't change, right? I haven't kept up with new releases, what's good, what's bad, and, none of that stuff. And that means I really need your suggestions. Now, let me remind you, Friday games are supposed to be games released in roughly the last 12 to 18 months, so I suggest away. Please and thank you. Meanwhile, Winter Survival is going better? Maybe? That said, the game is very quickly developing into very much a love-hate relationship. Episode 3 was a wreck and had to be repeated. Episode 5 was a wreck because the game froze and other stuff. Between controller issues and pre-scripted things that don't account for what you've already done, things that are not explained well, and that's just to name a few. This game is a mess. And at the same time, this game has a lot of promise. The environment is well built, graphically pretty good. It actually is immersive. There really is the making of a good storyline. So again, a love-hate relationship. Now, there's currently 3 parts to the story: the intro, Act 1, and Act 2. We're currently in Act 2, and I know Act 3 is planned, so there's going to be more content. I'm also being included in the playtest. Group for the new content, so I have no idea if future episodes will have content that is not in the current version of the game, but I hope it all means this game goes the way Hard Space Shipbreaker did. We did an early access series, which was basically us just breaking down ships, which, to be fair, was all there was at the time. The difference being that was very solid mechanically in terms of controls and all of that. And then we did a full series once it came out of early access, and the game turned out amazingly well. I'm still very much hoping for some sort of sequel on that game, by the way. But anyway, so we'll see how quickly Winter Survival improves as they release new content and fix stuff. Meanwhile, we played the Long Dark Hopeless Rescue Challenge. Now, you would think, by now, I would know how to do these challenge things, right? I keep trying to play these challenges like I'm in survival mode, like the regular game, instead of just charge through and get to the objectives. Well, thank you to all you wonderful commenters that keep telling me that. I appreciate you folks sticking with me through my foolishness, and I said it last month, I don't know how we're going to do it, but I want to find a way to actually play the Long Dark again, and I want to do it by starting with the Tales from the Far Territory. I put a lot of effort into preparing to play that, and I'll explain that in episode 1 if and or when we finally get to it, and I really do want to get to it. I just haven't decided which tale to attempt. And I also haven't looked into any of these just to avoid spoilers, so, suggestions? Which one? But actually playing that game again is in the plans. For now, though, we have returned to 7 Days to Die. I really love the game. It's been an absolute joy to play and learn, but according to what I've heard, apparently they took good stuff out and didn't actually fix anything, much less improve stuff with this new update, and they didn't really add any new content, or at least not much. According to one report, the devs specifically said being able to build a base underground is an exploit, so they removed the possibility to do that. Yeah, I didn't even know you could do that, but that's an exploit? You're really calling that an exploit? And in a semi-spoiler alert from episode 2, I can confirm they removed some environmental threats and issues like temperatures and wetness. Why? It's a survival game. Well, meanwhile, they rolled out a DLC Desert Armor thing, and according to what I've heard, that was actually supposed to be part of version 1.0, but got removed, and now in 2.0, it's a DLC. And still another report says NPC merchants will now try and sell you the DLCs in the game. That kind of paywall stuff, really uncool. In fact, it's kind of disgusting. It's becoming way too common, which is a whole different thing that we're not going to get into right now. To be fair, though, I've only played a couple of hours of the new update, so it kind of remains to be seen how accurate all that is, but with players saying this is a trash update, I don't know. Now, all that said, we're still going to play it. I mean, obviously we're going to play it. I want to see it for myself, and like I said, I love the game, so we'll find out together. Be sure to share your thoughts on the game in the comments. Is it bad? Is it good? Is it as bad as they're saying? And what do you want me to do? Which brings us back to our problem with Tuesdays and Saturdays. Short version, as I said earlier, there's a nerve issue in my left neck, shoulder, arm, hand, as well as problems from that stroke that affect what I can do. For our purposes, what it boils down to is I can either do Tuesday content or I can do Sunday content, but I can't do both. And I put a poll in the post section of our YouTube channel, and so far the indication is y'all would rather see Tuesday content than Sunday live streams. That poll is still out there on the YouTube post page, so feel free to vote if you haven't. We'd love your input. And I want to thank y'all for helping me figure this out. The obvious goal of the channel is to give you guys what you want to see, which means we keep doing stuff on Tuesdays. And I'll still do the occasional live stream, of course, and the plan is to attempt them on the Sunday following the monthly update video, which means this Sunday there will be a live stream at 1 p.m. Central Time, U.S. Oh, according to YouTube, that's -5 GMT if you need to do the translation, transposition, whatever it is. And what we're going to do is return to the Planet Crafter and play a randomized ore scenario. I just discovered there's a setting that completely randomizes the ore placement on the ground, which ones you get, as well as the mining location, changes it all around. Apparently it's been there for quite a while, but despite over 500 hours in the game, I only discovered it by accident the other day when a video popped up in my YouTube feed. I didn't watch much of it, but it was cool. It was really cool. So we're going to give it a try and see what happens. And with that, let's move on to Tech Education, the part of the video where I talk about the things we've learned on the technical side during the last month. Well, there wasn't anything computer techy this month. We did successfully lay some luxury vinyl flooring in the closet that flooded a couple of months back. A friend had a couple of boxes of stuff left over from doing their floors, and they gave it to us. So when we pulled out the carpet, that's what we tried to put down. More than one attempt was made. The only problem now is the spacers to allow the expansion to work as the floor moves and gives and all of that. Yeah, they don't work because of the way the contractors installed the sheetrock when they built the house 20 years ago. So parts of it move around when you walk on it. But we'll get it figured out. For now, it means our closet can move from the living room back to the closet. Oh yeah, and we still have to put the baseboards back in too. But that's everything noteworthy that's gone on in the last month or so around here. I want to thank you for spending your time with us. It's always appreciated. Share your thoughts in the comments, game suggestions, tips, please no spoilers, improvement ideas, whatever else you want to pass on to help us get better. We'll take all of it, please and thank you. And also do us a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, all those wonderful things. We don't want you missing anything around here. And of course, it keeps the YouTube algorithm happy with us, which is a good thing. Please and thank you. And if you'd like to support us here at the Chartreuse Leprechaun, there's links for that in the description below. But keep your eyes open. There's no telling when or where or how the Leprechaun will crop up to cause problems. But he will. So always, always, always remember that if you see it and you can't quite explain it, you can be positive the Leprechaun did it. Now you have yourselves a great day, and we will see you here next time on the Chartreuse Leprechaun. Bye-bye.